Welcome to today's lesson on biodiversity and the effects of human activities on ecosystems. In this lesson, we will explore the concept of biodiversity, emphasizing its definition, the significance of maintaining biodiversity on Earth and within ecosystems, and how human actions are currently harming it. Additionally, we will discuss the measures being taken to mitigate this damage. So far, you have learned about what an ecosystem is, including the various components and interactions that make up these complex systems. With this knowledge, you are now ready to dive deeper into the specifics of biodiversity. This understanding of biodiversity significantly advances our biological understanding as it highlights the variety of life forms and their roles in ecosystems. By recognizing the impact of human activities on biodiversity and the importance of conservation efforts, we enhance our ability to develop sustainable practices that support and protect life on Earth. Let's get started. Biodiversity is defined as the variety of all the different species of organisms on Earth or within a specific ecosystem. It encompasses everything from the tiniest microorganisms to the largest mammals. Different regions and ecosystems around the planet vary significantly in biodiversity. For example, polar regions. These areas have low biodiversity due to extreme conditions that few species can withstand. In contrast, tropical rainforests have high biodiversity, with a vast array of plant, animal, and microorganism species. It's important to understand that biodiversity is not just about the number of organisms, but the variety of species present. An ecosystem with a large population of a few species is not very biodiverse. Instead, biodiversity considers the number of different species in an ecosystem. Within any given ecosystem, species depend on each other for various needs such as food, shelter, and the maintenance of their physical environment. This interdependence means that changes affecting one species can have a knock-on effect on other species. For example, if a predator species declines, there might be an overpopulation of its prey, disrupting the food chain. Another example is if certain plants provide necessary shelter for animals. If these plants are removed, the animals depending on them might struggle to survive. Furthermore, some species also help maintain the soil quality or water levels, affecting the overall health of the ecosystem. When biodiversity in an ecosystem is low, it tends to be less stable. This is because species are more likely to be highly dependent on just one other species. Here's why this is a concern. If a single species is lost due to disease, climate change, or human activity, it can significantly disrupt the ecosystem, so it is more susceptible to changes and disturbances. Ecosystems with low biodiversity are less resilient. This means that if an ecosystem is affected by a disturbance, it's less likely to return to recover to its original state. High biodiversity is crucial for the regular functioning of ecosystems and offers several benefits. Biodiverse ecosystems provide essential services like pollination, decomposition, water purification, and climate regulation. Ecosystems with high biodiversity are better able to withstand environmental changes and stresses. Human activities, including waste production, deforestation, and global warming, have been reducing biodiversity. Specific impacts include deforestation. Clearing forests reduces habitats for countless species, leading to declines in population and eventually extinction. Another is pollution. Waste and chemicals contaminate habitats, making them uninhabitable for many species. Finally, climate change. Shifts in climate alter habitats and migration patterns, affecting biodiversity negatively. Let's look at mitigation measures. Only recently have we become more aware of the importance of maintaining high biodiversity. Various measures are being taken to mitigate the loss of biodiversity. One measure is protected areas, establishing national parks and reserves to protect habitats. Another is sustainable practices, promoting sustainable agriculture and fishing to avoid overexploitation of resources. A third is climate action. In other words, implementing policies to reduce carbon emissions and combat global warming. In today's lesson, we delved into the concept of biodiversity and its crucial importance to Earth and its ecosystems. We defined biodiversity as the variety of all living organisms in a particular habitat, or on the planet as a whole. We emphasise that biodiversity is essential for ecosystem stability, resilience, and the provision of ecosystem services such as nutrient cycling, pollination, and climate regulation. We then discussed the impact of human activities on biodiversity. Deforestation, pollution, climate change, overfishing, and habitat destruction were highlighted as major factors contributing to the decline of various species and the disruption of ecosystems. This loss of biodiversity not only endangers individual species, but also undermines ecosystem functionality and human well-being. In contrast, we also examined recent efforts to mitigate these impacts and preserve biodiversity. Initiatives such as the establishment of protected areas, sustainable resource management practices, and conservation programs were discussed. These measures illustrate a growing recognition of the importance of conserving biodiversity for future generations. By grasping these concepts, you are now better equipped to appreciate the importance of biodiversity and the impact of human activities on ecosystems, as well as the measures that can be taken to protect our planet's ecological richness.